What's going on, After Sound? Welcome to the stream. New Age is here as well. Let's go, it's a party. How's everyone doing today? I wanted to just hop on stream today, and I just pushed a video to YouTube this afternoon talking about kind of Chaos Legion and what cards and attributes of those cards were valuable in the current meta. And I wanted to hop on the Mav server here, take a look at the Rebellion card set, and do a first look and take on what cards might be the most valuable, or the most, let's say, I guess the most important ones to maybe focus on leveling up, maybe to begin with. And I'll be honest with you, I have not been on the Mav server looking at Rebellion cards. I know After Sound, you've done a bunch of videos on the cards and the elements as well as Hawks. I have not had a chance to listen to those yet, and I haven't even looked at the cards myself. I just bought for the first time yesterday some Rebellion packs because I guess I figured I kind of had to. So I'm now actually going to be looking at the cards for the first time. I've just been really focused on land for the last week, and we're going to do this kind of live here. What's going on, Plato? Welcome to the stream. We have an all-star audience on this Sunday. Appreciate you guys hanging out. How can I focus on Rebellion when land is a full-time job? Well, the beauty of land right now with land 1.5, well, I guess you could call it the beauty or the challenge, is once it's set up, it's kind of like less work than Golem Overlord. You don't have to really do anything except harvest every once in a while, just like at least every 7 days. So unless you're making card purchases, as long as you set up your land correctly the first time, there's really not a lot of adjusting that you need to do. So in reality, we can very much indeed switch gears to focus on Rebellion now, because, you know, land should be a passive printing machine. Whether you're printing grain or SPS or research tokens, there's not a lot of gameplay really there right now. What's going on, Ank? Welcome to the stream. And it's kind of interesting, Ank, the strategy we talked about way back when around land and DEC and Rebellion actually allowed me to free roll my way into 350 Rebellion packs. So yeah, that was helpful. So even though we didn't participate in the Rebellion pre-sale, we were focused on land and working the land market, where we're still able to technically participate in Rebellion, you know, by using some of those proceeds and technically profits from those trades to get some Rebellion cards. Now, is it as many Rebellion packs as we would want? Certainly not. Is it, am I getting any benefits from promo cards? Certainly not. But, you know, better to be late to the party than miss the party altogether, right? New Age is saying it's crazy to fit these new cards in given the new tactics approach. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, because I mean, I haven't really done any test battles. I'm going to be all theory crafting this, looking at the cards, not having played any battles with, you know, dual element summoners or summoner tactics. So if we have time today, maybe we can do some challenges for those of you that are on the Mav server and test some of the cards in battle. Again, I don't have any of the cards to play. I don't even know, can I buy any of the cards? Do I have any packs here on the Mav server? No packs. Can I buy any? I have no packs purchased. Let me see, will it let me buy them? Probably not, right? Vouchers in game. I'm just curious. I don't only have 126 DEC, so I'm not gonna be able to buy very many packs either, right? Yeah, so I guess I wouldn't be able to test anything. I don't have any DEC really. I don't have any vouchers. I don't even know if I could I need vouchers to be able to even... Let's see. I think I should have 25 vouchers, right? Oh well. I mean, 25 packs is not going to do anything for me, right? So it's kind of a waste. Alright, I have 25 packs with all the DEC that I had on this account, and not really going to make a difference. Will not be battling with 125 cards. Plato is saying the account that he bought his packs on doesn't even have access to the Mav server, so you gotta wait until Tuesday. Okay. Oh, New Age can delegate some to me? Okay. Cool, cool. That will be helpful. Maybe we can get some test battles in. What's going on, Virus? Welcome to the party. How's it going? They took away access to the account that you had your Rebellion cards on. Okay. That's not good. What do I think of the 50 voucher battle wagon change? I hadn't seen that change, Plato, so this is the first time hearing of it. I mean, from a voucher value standpoint, I guess that would explain why vouchers are on the rise in value. I mean, for me, I have a lot of vouchers, so probably isn't a big deal for me personally. For vouchers, it's probably good to burn more of those up. It's just more costs that everyone has to pay, right? Oh, you have a bunch of packs that you didn't open? Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. Oh, 4,000 packs. That's more than a bunch. That is a champion level deck right there. So that's crazy. Yeah, we will definitely open these up and try and get some battles in. So thank you, New Age, for that. That's super helpful here. Let's go ahead and let's dive in. I mean, I'll give you my first impressions. I have not looked at any of these cards. I'm a slacker, so you're getting my raw thoughts in real time here. All right, I'm starting with neutral. The reason I'm starting with neutral cards, because if you watch my recent video talking about card value, right? Neutral cards traditionally have held a premium if they're effective neutral cards. Now, moving forward with dual element summoners, maybe that's not as much of a premium, but I still want to start here. So if we look at this first card, my initial impressions: neutral, 9 mana, shield, reflection shield, corrosive ward. So it's going to reduce armor. I mean, at first glance, I mean, this card would really need flank to take advantage of the reflection shield option. Or, I mean, I guess it could be used in Thorn battles. But 9 mana, a 4/3/3/9 stat line kind of reminds me of like a... I mean, it's not super impressive. I mean, the shield is nice. But I'm not thinking off the top of my head that this is going to be an immediate impact card that's must-have for your deck. The way I look at it is, I mean, obviously, you know, let's just assume that you're running Rebellion cards in Wild, and Xbot is a factor. Is Xbot going to choose this card as something it's going to want to play a lot? Off the top of my head, I'm going to say no. But obviously subject to change once we play with it. Alright, for time's sake, let's move on. It's common here. Nimble Duke Ranger. Neutral. 7 mana. 2 archery damage. 4 speed. 2/7 with snipe. I mean, the Pellicle Arbalist is 6 mana. I believe it's double strike with 3 damage. So you're basically getting an increased mana cost and a reduced damage to basically get a neutral version of the Pellicle Arbalist here. My initial thoughts on this card is, well, generally speaking, any double strike card is useful. And because it has snipe, I honestly think that's a benefit to range cards, because it can avoid return fire tanks so that don't have taunt. So initial impressions of this card, I mean, I love the Pellicle Arbalist for life. I like that card a lot. I think it's great value for DPS. If I can bring a kind of a watered down version of that card into any Splinter with snipe, seems like something I'm interested in. So this card is something that yeah, that I'm gonna keep on my watch list for now. Let me check out on the chat here. Oh, they gave you 10,000 packs for trying the champ tournaments. Okay, nice. All right, let's see this next card here. Ulundin Overseer. So this is like a Jared Scar Fat Boy. It's 11 mana and flank. If it's in the first position, the second position gets reach. All right. So although this is a giant card at 11 mana and susceptible to giant, it doesn't have an attack. So if you have a flank card behind it, you're probably not going to get any advantage of weapons training unless there's a magic weapons training or a melee weapons training with flank. Or I guess, no, I take that back. I mean, this card gives flank, right? So you could technically put a weapons trainer behind it. It wouldn't make much sense, though, unless that weapons trainer was melee, right? Because that would be the only real advantage of having the flank here. So basically, you're looking to use this card with a melee weapons trainer. And I guess from a weapons training perspective, I would have to look at the Soulbound reward cards. But you're looking at what? Is that like a Kulu Swim Master? Or Kulu Mastermind? Who's the melee? Where can I find that easily? I guess Splinter cards, right? Weapons training? Sorry guys, I'm all over the place here. This is what happens when you're unprepared. Weapons training cards. Yeah, so it's Kulu Mastermind. Phyrexian Hero already has reach, so that's not really a benefit. So basically it's Kulu Mastermind, right? You're going to give 3 melee damage to this card. And, I mean, the Kulu Mastermind doesn't even need reach, though. And in fact, reach is a problem for this card because you would want it to use opportunity rather than reach. So really, I think if you look at this particular card, it's going to need to use Rebellion cards to be effectively using that flank. Let me catch up here on chat. Ank's doing, he's opening 1,150 Rebellion packs and doing a giveaway on Twitter. Just guess how many gold foil legendaries you're gonna pull. Okay, Ank, I will definitely repost that, like that, and give you my response. I'm not gonna give away that response on stream because I want to make sure I win this contest. So you guys are gonna have to see my answer on Twitter. So as we look at this card again, neutral card. I still like it even though it doesn't have an attack, and it's probably not going to have an attack. I mean, here's the reason I like it. I guess I'm just intrigued by flank as an ability. Things like Grund on Earth, things like, I mean, you could go cheap and instead of using a Carnage Titan for Dragon, you could use a Desert Dragon as a flank card. You know, give this 10-17 body in front of it to protect it. I mean, that's pretty useful. I mean, Desert Dragon is a beast of a card, and if I can give it a 10-17 body for 11 mana, could it be worth it in high mana matches? Yeah, absolutely. If it gives Desert Dragon 2 extra turns to do damage, that's sometimes all you need with Desert Dragon to really make a difference. So this card is interesting to me. The cost is high. The ability of flank, probably not all that useful, at least right now that I'm seeing. But I like, sticking high DPS attacking melee cards behind something like this. Another example is Coastal Sentry. Like, put this in front of Coastal Sentry, and you don't have to use Possibilis. I mean, that's nice. I mean, yeah, it's hugely expensive. You're looking at 21 mana just for those 2 cards, but I mean, Coastal Sentry with Piercing and that double strike, yeah, it's really good. So anyways, I like this card. It would be a card I would be interested in watching. Let's see here. Next card, Chaos Lackey. It's 4 mana neutral with Dispel, True Strike, Archery, 6 speed, 7 health. I mean, I guess it's fine. I mean, at first I didn't use Zenith Archer a lot and see much value in Zenith Archer, but at 2 mana it has its place. This here at 4 mana, I just don't count on 6 speed to be a good sneak defender. 6 speed, 7 health. I mean, for 4 mana, it's not terrible for a sneak defender. I just think most splinters can do sneak defense for cheaper mana and just as effective. So off the top of my head, not super stoked about maxing this card out day 1. I mean, Dispel is nice for sure, but I think there's better ways to put Dispel in most cases. You could give it a heal with a Life Summoner if you're not worried about Affliction. Okay. Yeah, I haven't even looked at the summoners yet for the summoner tactics. So you're talking about putting a heal on the back of this, like an Earth Elemental type ability. So it's got 6 speed, 7 health with a self-heal. Yeah, I mean, then it's certainly a better sneak defender. I mean, we know how annoying Earth Elemental is in the wild format with that archery damage from the back with a self-heal. It's just annoying to get through. Hello, Icy Flow. Welcome to the stream. We have a star-studded audience today. I appreciate everyone hanging out on Twitch as we talk about Splinterlands today. Is everyone excited? We got Land 2.0 white paper details being maybe dropped tomorrow, a town hall, Rebellion on Tuesday. I mean, is it good to be a Splinterlands player right now? I think so. Let's take a look at this card. 4 mana neutral, 1 magic damage, 4 speed, 2 shield, 6 health, the Moxian Rebel. It's got weapons training, phase, and camo. Interesting on the camo, because weapon training needs, generally speaking, to be placed ideally in the 5th or 2nd position to maximize its effects. So you're going to have camo in the middle of your lineup. And then the phase, I mean, phase is really most useful for a tank or an off tank. I guess if you use this in the 2nd position, with a 4 speed and phase, maybe it becomes a little more survivable at 4 mana. I mean, weapons training is just good in general. So always having a 4 mana weapons training to be able to add like magic damage to a Pelacor Conjurer or Scavo Hireling type card in low mana matches, not terrible, right? I mean, the 1 magic damage isn't impressive, but it's magic damage. Like if it was archery damage, it would be much less useful. But because it's magic, I mean, it's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, is this going to be something that I want to max day one? I don't know. I need to see what other weapons training magic options we have. Being a neutral weapons training magic is obviously valuable because of those two things, though. Mad Ogre Anarchist. 6 mana, 3 melee damage, 4 speed, 2 armor, 8 health, with opportunity and immunity. So any neutral card with immunity is something to certainly look at as interesting. And then opportunity, certainly interesting. So right off the bat, if I just look at this card, 6 mana compared to Deep Lurker. Deep Lurker's 5 damage, I think around the same speed, 7 health. This has the shields and the additional health and opportunity and immunity. I want this card. Like, my initial take is yes, please. If you watch my video from this earlier today, opportunity and immunity are valuable abilities. This being on a neutral card and being a 6 mana card, which is not super expensive, seems to be good value. You know, you could have a Rooney at 6 mana, a Deep Lurker at 6 mana. You could have this card at 6 mana. You know, that's 18 mana for 5, 3, 4, I think is Rooney. That's a lot of opportunity damage coming at you. You know, from a water team, for example. So I like this card. I like immunity, I like opportunity, I like neutral. So this card is interesting to me. So let me see, Virus was saying, or shield with water if it was non-magic. Okay, so that's a dual cost, or dual, or summoner tactics you're talking about there. Icy Flow is saying probably one of the cards used most on the QA. Okay, you guys are talking about the Moxian Rebel or the Chaos Lackey with those comments. Sorry, I missed those. Which was the card they used a lot on QA? Was that kind of cheap weapons training ability? Yeah, the weapons training one, the Moxian Rebel. Okay, yeah. So being a cheap neutral with weapons training and magic is flexibility, right? Similar to a Zenith Monk, right? With that self heal, 4 mana, kind of stat line. It's just useful for that price point, right? It's very flexible. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, not over the top crazy with stats, but certainly can fill it, pop it in a lineup, especially with mana restrictions, and get value. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Moxian Rebel for Virus as well. Okay. 4 mana Drybone Bowdog. It's 3 archery damage, 5 speed, 5 health, neutral, scatter shots, and ambush. All right. So, firstly, I will say I like this card, and I think after sound on one of your streams I caught recently, live streams, I think you mentioned that you're not a fan of scattershot necessarily. I personally am a big fan of scattershot when I need it. What do I mean by that? I find myself using a lot recently Gem Meteor because I want to get past taunting tanks. Well, things like Almo, for example, when I know Almo's coming. You know, Almo frontline type return fire stuff. Things like Shield Bearers, Wave Broods, etc. So I'm a big fan of Scattershot, and if I can get a cheaper version of the Gem Meteor neutral card at 4 mana instead of 5 mana with Scattershot and an ambush ability, yeah, I'm all in. Like this is a card that I would like to use. Like I would use this card, I think, quite a bit. I just see myself using Gem Meteor a lot these days, just based on the rule sets that I'm seeing and the cards I'm seeing. That just could be me, though. So, yeah, I like this card. This is a card that I would be interested in. Grimbardoon Smith, obviously a promo card. I think it goes without saying that this card is beastly. Immunity, void, shield, repair, weapons training on top of it, you know, getting a buff. Yeah, this card is one that you're going to want to get sooner rather than later. I think that goes without saying, right? I see Flo saying in a low mana match, scatter plus ambush could take out 1 or 2 monsters. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any guess on the promo card cost? It's a rare, right? Yeah, I mean, if this is a rare neutral with these abilities, I mean, what is, man? Look, I could see this flying off the shelves at like $1 a BCX still. So, I mean, I need this card. I didn't do the pre-sale. I need 115 copies of it. I mean, would I pay potentially $200 for it? I don't know. Like, I don't know if it'll get, if I'd be interested at $2, but man, this card is good. Like, so here's the thing. Onyx Sentinel, you could say, is similar, right? It's got the Void and the Shield, and it's got Thorns. It doesn't have immunity, and it doesn't have Repair. So, worst case scenario with weapons training, like people could go with a budget version and use Onyx Sentinel or Lord A in the Wild League here. I just really like the repair, the self-repair on this card, and the immunity. Those two things, I think, make it unique. If we look at the value, right? If I go to Splinterlands, Onyx Sentinel as an epic here, I mean, it's pretty cheap. You're looking at $33 for Onyx Sentinel. It's 5 mana, so it's cheaper mana. It's still neutral. It's got Return Fire, Thorns, Void, and Shield. So it's got the Void and the Shield, cheaper mana. It doesn't have a shield and it doesn't have repair. It's got 8 health though, right? And some of the defensive buffs. I mean, in a pinch, in Wild, again in Wild, not in Modern, obviously. In Wild, $33. Like, I could see paying $1 for Grimbardoon Smith and paying $1 or like $115 for that card to have these abilities available in Modern. Much more than that, I think there's other things I'd want to buy. Just being truthful. Now, if I look at legendaries, I mean, Lord A has come down in price a lot. Again, this is Wild only, but let's see, where is he at? I mean, this card was selling for like $7, like $7 or $8 for a full multi-BCX copy. Like, you can get a max level legendary Lord A for $132, which, like, at $1 price point for the Grimbardoon Smith, puts it around the same price, which is better. I mean, Lord A is what is it? 5 mana, 9 health, Shield Void combo, of course, match Reflect Thorns. Again, it doesn't have the immunity and the repair, which are key, and it's not available in Modern. How much is that worth? I mean, is it worth a premium of like an extra $1 per BCX? I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, the limiting factor is Onyx Sentinel and Lord A are wild cards only now. There's not really a neutral card they can use with every Splinter. So I think that's where the difference is going to be. There's really not a great modern alternative right now in neutral to this. So it may get pricey. It may be like a $200 plus card. Yeah, you were thinking higher, like $2 to $3. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible. Like I'm thinking as a player, like I'm thinking like, do I want to spend $300 on this card? I mean, not really. Would I in a pinch? I mean, I would have to think about it. Like here's the thing. All right, I'll give you an example, right? Here's an example. I know this card is something I need to have. I know this card is a fabulous card. What card am I talking about? Immolation. I do not have a max copy of this card, right? I know I need this card. I want this card. I am not paying $24 for this card right now. And maybe that's a mistake. Maybe it'll be like $40 and I'll think, man, I wish I would have bought it for $24. But here's the thing. This card is fantastic. But 11 BCX is going to cost me what, like almost $300. And this card wins games, absolutely wins games with Yasik. I don't want to pay $300 for a card right now. So when you ask me, could Grimbardoon Smith be $3 a BCX? Absolutely, it could be. Well, but will I be one of the people lining up to buy it for $300? Probably not. And it might be a great card. It might be winning lots of games. But Immolation is a great card. Definitely wins lots of games for Fire. I'm not buying it for $300 right now. So that's the way I look at it. Just my take. Virus is saying, with a life summoner heal and a lower mana match, how would you kill it besides oppress? Yeah, I mean, it could be so powerful to start with that people just spam it, and you got to buy it, right? You got to have it. I haven't played enough matches with it, with life, to understand. I mean, for a while, people would say the Wraith combo with High Priest Darius and Renova, no, not Renova, Ali Brightwing was busted, right, with Shield Bearer. And like Jared Scar as an example. I mean, people got through that and, can win versus that. To start with, it was dominating. It was, winning matches all by itself, just having those cards and being able to play them. Again, how much is that worth? I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see what people want to pay. Icy Flow is saying the legendary promo is just crazy OP. Can win a game just because of that card. Icy Flow is holding off on the last 3 Riftwatcher airdrops for prices to drop. And Virus is saying they brought out direct counters with the future summoners. Brought out counters to which card? The legendary promo? And which summoners? Are you talking just in general? Oh, Wraith? Yes. True. True. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, when will we see the legendary summoners to maybe take care of the dominance that Grimbardoon Smith might put forth? I mean, that might be 4 months later, right? It'll be several months before those legendary summoner airdrops start hitting. So it could dominate for quite a while. All right. Let's talk about Mantroth since Icy Flow just brought this card up. This is what Icy Flow is talking about. For 11 mana, you've got 3 melee damage, 2 speed, 4 shield, 11 health. You've got Blast, Self-Repair, True Strike, Armored Strike with the Repair is a nice combination, and Shield. Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, as well, I mean, you could field this with Immortalis, giving it Void and Shatter and extra health. So you're looking at, you know, Shield and Void tank with that 3 melee damage plus the Armored Strike. You know, with Earth and Immortalis, you could add obviously Queen Mycelia, giving it 2 more potential attack, giving it a 6 Armored Strike potentially with Blast, and it could repair that over time. I mean, it's a really good card. Now I'm just talking about it with Immortalis because that's the easy lift there. I mean, it makes, you know, easy sense because you would, one of its weaknesses here would be magic damage, of course, and Immortalis kind of nerfs that magic damage. But yeah, I mean, the Armored Strike, the Blast, the Repair, yeah, it's a real good card. I'd be interested. I mean, is it as dominant as Dr. Blight with 4 mana neutral with those abilities? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it's weak to magic. But having a neutral tank that can always drop Blast down on you, I mean, look at how Jotun changed the game, right? With his Blast, you always have to account for kind of Jotun with fire in the Wild League format. If now neutral in the modern format, you can always drop Blast down with this guy. Potentially any team could with a high mana match. You kind of almost always got to consider putting some type of off tank or some type of reflection shield in your 2 position, right? Kind of makes you always think about that because this is neutral and can always be dropped down, because you have to realize that the Blast effect over the course of a battle is pretty powerful, and the Armored Strike here with any protects is going to do 3 blast damage that second position, in addition to any melee damage potentially. So it's interesting for sure. It's not terrible. And Virus is saying flank with this guy is pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, as an off tank, blasting off tank. I mean, what's the other? I'll tell you one card that I love to use in Wild. You guys will probably laugh at me for this, but I love using this card, and it's won me a lot of games. Now, granted, it's a lower mana card, and it's kind of a surprise in a lot of cases. I don't think it's playable right now because I think I have it on land. But I really like this card, and people laugh at it. But this card here, Electric Eels, 4 mana reach, 3 damage with Blast. This card is really useful. I like it a lot because of that blast damage at that reach position. So yeah, I agree, Icy Flow. I think something with flank, again, like, it's very expensive, but if you put Mantroth behind this big boy, right? It's 22 mana, but you're sitting behind a 10-17 front tank, and you got this guy blasting away with protects potentially that aren't getting affected by stuff. Another, what, 3 + 6, that's 9 damage to the front, plus another 5 damage. Yeah, that's pretty significant DPS. Icy Flow saying Zero is the biggest winner of Rebellion because it's dual element and can be played with a dual element summoner to be used in every element. Not to mention the weapons training buff. Yeah, I mean Zero is a big winner. I actually I actually am selling my Zero right now. So if you want to buy a Zero, I've got one for sale. But I agree. I think it's a good card and getting benefits for sure. Let's see. Let's take a look. Palace. Neutral 8 mana. Flying Reach. Similar to, I guess, the Luminous Eagle from Life, right? But it's got Lookout. So you're going to give Lookout to the first position and the third position. Yeah, half damage from ambushing. Could be important. Could be important for sure, depending on how prevalent ambush is against tanks. 5 damage reach. I mean, I like the Luminous Eagle at 6 mana for life. I guess it depends on how valuable Lookout's going to be across the board. I think you'll definitely see a lot of ambush plays being used. So yeah, could be valuable here in the meta. Selling Zero for land? No, I'm selling Zero for Rebellion packs. I bought her when she was cheap. I'm just looking to flip her for more packs because I feel that more Rebellion packs for me right now are probably more valuable than Zero long term. Maybe that's a mistake because I can always get Rebellion packs in the future, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's hard to turn down a 2x on a card flip, given how cards have generally not continued to appreciate historically, recently at least. In Equal Opportunity or Super Sneak, that Lookout is pretty powerful since all monsters will have the ability. Yeah, let's take a look at that, Virus. So you're saying adjacent units, sneak, snipe, and opportunity. Yeah, because in Equal Opportunity, every card has that ability for melee cards. So in that rule set, basically it makes your tank always take 1 less damage, basically, or your third position cards. Does it also confer Lookout to itself in that case for an opportunity attack? Does it get the advantage of... Yeah, it would, right? So give it to itself plus the first and third position. So half your team is affected by that then. Super Sneak as well. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't give it to itself? Just to the first and third? Okay. Yeah, I mean, Super Sneak, not all monsters have Sneak. Just those with melee attacks, right? Those that have archery and magic don't confer that ability. Or are you saying that even though that the monster doesn't use a sneak attack, it still has the ability so that the rule set makes it affected by Lookout? Meaning, if it has sneak ability, even though it can't use it, magic damage would be reduced by 1 here for Lookout abilities. Is that what you're saying, Virus? Yeah, that would be powerful, right? If the Super Sneak or the Equal Opportunity rule set is in play, and that's also giving you damage reduction to magic and archery damage, then that would be super powerful for that rule set. It would almost be an auto-include in those rule sets, similar to how like Scavenge is like an auto-include in like Rebirth and Noxious Fumes rule sets. Interesting. Paired with a shield, it can really shut down melee damage or ranged. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point, actually. Definitely worth calling out. So good call there. Great Porcupine. Let's take a look at this card. 3 mana neutral with close ranged and ranged. I mean, I already like this card. Just because, like, it seems so much more valuable than the Zenith Archer. Yes, it's 1 more mana. It's got 1 more damage. It's got close range and thorns. Man, it just seems like a significant upgrade for a neutral archer. For 3 mana. That neutral close range seems really good. Seems like a great 3 mana off tank to put in like every Little League rule set, right? I mean, close range thorns, 3 damage from the second position for 3 mana. I don't know. I like this card. It doesn't look sexy, but I tell you what, I would probably use it a whole bunch. Buyers are saying it wrecked him as a back tank a couple times. Yeah, I could see it for sure. I mean, 5 health with thorns is going to take probably 2 hits from sneak attackers before it dies. So it's going to deal out with, if you have amplify anywhere, it's going to deal out at least what, 6 damage to that melee sneak attacker before it dies. Seems like good value for 3 mana neutral. I don't know. I like this card. I like it. In our last neutral, man, we spent, God, we already spent we spent almost an hour just talking about neutrals. That's crazy. 9 mana Nalera Gynek. Alright. Interesting name. 1 magic damage, 3 speed, 5 armor, 10 health. It's got Amplify, Silence, Void, and Stun. Interesting. I mean, I was probably too quick to dismiss Time Meddler under the Rift Watchers thing, so I have to be careful what I say here about this card. On paper, looks like a weird mishmash of stuff here, right? I made bad calls with Jin Murat and Time Meddler, and those cards had similar mishmashes of stuff, similar to this card. So I don't want to say that this card is not good, because I've had to eat crow on those 2 cards a little bit. So where do we see similarities between Jin Murat and Time Meddler here? Well, similarities are, I mean, it's kind of high cost at 9 mana. It's not doing a ton of damage with 1 magic damage. But from a support ability, you've got Amplify, Silence, and Stun. And Stun is, regardless of damage, effective here, right? So from a tank or off-tank perspective, can this card be interesting as a neutral card in range, kind of only kind of keep your distance rule sets? Maybe as a second position, because again, you want to use the Amplify, and putting it in the second position would seem to make a lot of sense, using its Silence. And then when it gets to the first position, you know, it still can maybe be okay. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maplicious is saying this is a Wands Out card. Yeah. If you have like Magic Reflect in the first position with this Amplify card and the Silence, yeah, definitely a Wands Out type of rule set card, right? Especially as neutral. maybe a must play in Wands Out. So maybe maybe this is a card you gotta have. Icy Flow's saying, didn't use this card, just too low damage for the mana. Yeah, I mean, a neutral silence is, I think, a really interesting play. I mean, Elven Mystic wasn't high damage in Untamed, but it was very useful because it was a neutral silence card. Granted, that was only like 4 cost, but something to consider here. I think Mapleicious is onto something here, and that being it's a Wands Out kind of card that you need to have in your deck. Okay. Well, I'll tell you. Look, looking at these neutral cards, I'm seeing a lot of really desirable cards. I mean, it's probably easier for me to tell you which cards I'm not as much interested in rather than tell you which cards I am interested in. I would say the Grimbardoon Fighter is probably one that I'll not focus on initially. Probably the Chaos Lackey would be another one I wouldn't focus on initially. And probably, man, that might be it. I kind of like everything else, honestly. I mean, I could see reasons for having everything else in my deck. The first card you used a lot, used the Grimbardoon Fighter. It just seems like an Elven Defender type of card to me. I mean, doesn't it like remind you of Elven Defender? Yeah, I mean it has Corrosive Ward and it has Reflection Shield. I don't know. Maybe you're right, Icy. I don't know. Legionnaire Alvar, maybe I would want to use more. I don't know. Really strong tank. In the first position, I mean, he's not getting benefit from Reflection Shield. How is it different from Elven Defender? Now, Elven Defender, I pick on that card, but that card sucks. Let's just be honest. You never see the Elven Defender used. How different really is this card from the Elven Defender? I'm curious. Because I think this card sucks. The Elven Defender is 8 mana. It is a 3/3/5/10 with shield, right? And this card is never used. Like, I could count the number of times I've fought this card probably this year, probably on half a hand. So 8 mana, 3/3/5/10 with shield. This is a 9 mana, 4/3/3/9 with shield. So if Reflection Shield in the first position, I mean, if you're saying Corrosive Ward makes this card super powerful, okay. Well, otherwise I see this card as an Elven Defender. Virus is saying it's probably a counter to the flank or second attack having a shield strike. And good against Thorns. Okay, I mean, yeah, I mean, good against Thorns with Reflection Shield, sure. Sure, I'll give you that. I mean, Reflection Shield is nice for Thorns rule sets. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it just reminded me too much of Elven Defender for me to get excited about it initially. But maybe you guys are right. Maybe the Reflection Shield with the Thorns and the Corrosive Ward make it a good card. Because, well, Elven Defender is not a good card. Trust me, I own some of those in gold foil version, and they're not good. All right, so we spent an hour just talking about the neutral Rebellion cards, and already, again, I'm I like pretty much all of them. So it's a good start, I guess. Do we go to Dragon next? There's only 5 of them to start, so maybe that's where we go. Let's see here. Red Worm Hatchling, 7 mana dragon card, True Strike with the 1 speed, kind of typical these days, kind of like a given. If they want something to be slow and missing, they just give it 2 speed and no True Strike. 4 archery damage, 5 shield, 7 health. the dodge is interesting, for sure. So we're looking at reverse speed rule set for this. Picking on weapons training cards, right? Is this something that I'm going to go out and focus on? Initial glance? No, probably not. I mean, I just look at the Septic Slime, the 1 speed True Strike with a self heal. I mean, that card's barely used, even though it's a good card, I think. This card with Archery being situational, really its value is going to be the Oppress. I just think that I can find better value in Oppress elsewhere. Namely, Chaos Agent, not Chaos Agent, Magi Chaos for 6 mana magic damage with Oppress. I would rather have that, honestly. Just my initial opinion, again. Initial opinions only here so far today. Redworm Dragon, 9 mana, 2 magic damage, 6 speed, 6 armor, 11 health. It's got your Dragon Flight here. It's got immunity and stun. Again, immunity, always good. Stun is a valuable attack ability. It's got good speed with flight, good armor, good health. I mean, it seems like a solid card. It's not going to be affected by Giant Killer. Immunity, obviously, super strong. I mean, seems solid. The damage is a little low. It doesn't have really any support abilities. So I guess maybe the downside is just not, it's not really a true DPS card, and it's not really a true support card. So it's kind of like a hybrid there. I don't know. Maybe it's more of a tank card with the 6-speed flight and immunity and the good shields and health. Would you use a Redworm Dragon over a Void Dragon? I mean, maybe you look at it as a upgrade over a Void Dragon because it's immunity and extra shield and health. Maybe that's the best way to look at it. Void Dragon 1.5. I mean, it's just kind of that cost of 9 cost is, you know, Void Dragon's nice because of the 6 mana and what it brings to the table. At 9 mana, I'm wondering if there's better options, generally speaking. So, I mean, not a bad card. Just maybe interesting. You might be challenged on when you play this. Like even Void Dragon is a good card, and I don't play it a ton. So I would be not necessarily reaching for this card to play a lot necessarily. All right, Rune Seer Savaya. This is a dragon support card, 4 mana, 3 speed, 4 health. My initial impressions, it's kind of like a dragon version of Mycelia, right? A little bit. Support card. You got Protect, Amplify. and you're adding protect with a repair, which is different than a protect with a rust. And then you have blind and cleanse. So a dragon 4-mana support card like this, I mean, I like it. You look at how valuable Queen Mycelia is. These abilities, a dragon cleanse, super nice. That was hard to get previously. I think you had to use like a diamond dragon level to get that before. This is nice. Earth dragon with this card becomes interesting because now Earth gets that cleanse. I like this card. This would be a card that I would say is going to be interesting. Did you guys see this as well? I don't know if you guys noticed this. Active skin default on the Mav server. So are we going to be getting skins relatively soon for all these Rebellion cards? We haven't really talked about that, but it's in Mav server. So yeah, I would say that that's coming, right? Might be a nice little surprise for us. Stay tuned. But yeah, I like this card. I think it's going to be a card that I would be interested in day one. Solas Ashinak. That's a handful to say. Legendary dragon unit, 4 mana, 1 melee damage, 3 speed, 1 shield, and 10 hearts. You've got Return Fire, Magic Reflect, Reflection Shield, and a Redemption. It's a nice little dragon Little League tank, right? Pretty handy, actually. Kind of reminds me of Mulan. It's kind of like reminds me of the Mulan's little dragon. That's what played by Eddie Murphy, right? Anyways, I'm not a huge Disney follower, but I think that's what this card art reminds me of. This card, the Reflection Shield is nice against Thorn battles. Little League, Return Fire, Magic Reflect, 110. This is a good card. I don't know. I like it. Dragon Little League is looking more enticing. You've got the Dampier Infiltrator there. You've got this card there. You've got this legendary that we just looked at as a support card that's going to add more shields and a repair. All of a sudden, Little League Dragon looking more viable as an option. With each and every card set, Dragon is becoming more usable in Little League as potentially a powerhouse team. All right, let's catch up here on chat. Mapleicious saying Dragon Earth all the way. Yeah, I do like the cleanse here. Icy Flows wanted more 3 to 4 mana tanks, and he likes this card. Yeah, I agree. Let's take a look. This is the summoner, right? This is the dragon summoner. The summoner tactics dragon summoner. So this is going to be legendary summoner right out of the gate. So this is like the Quicks version for Rebellion. Let's see the tactics here. 5 mana cost, legendary. Give lookout to 1 unit or give ambush to 2 units. I think I've heard talks about this. So again, I haven't watched any real videos or on Rebellion yet, just some live streams that have mentioned the cards. So this is really my first look at these cards. 5 mana, giving ambush to 2 units. Yes, please. Every time, all the time. Yes. Like Quicks for 4 mana or this card for 5 mana. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Yeah, I think that's crazy good. Ambush for 2 units is all day, every day. So yeah, good card. Summoner, dragon, legendary, get it. Icy Flow's comment is his only concern with the rebellion is that with the high HP and tons of abilities, that too many matches end in fatigue. We could see, we will see for sure if that becomes more of a thing, especially at the Diamond Champion level, right? And Ank is saying Dragon Earth with Cleanse is OP. Earth just keeps getting stronger. Yeah, I mean, that's Cleanse has always been kind of an Achilles heel as an absence for Earth, generally speaking. So that being available is gonna definitely change the meta, I think, for Earth a little bit there. So interesting. Well, we've been streaming here for about an hour, so I think this is a good place to pause here. And maybe we can repost this on YouTube for those that missed the stream. Again, this is just a review, real-time review of dragons and neutrals for Rebellion off the Mav server. If I were to just quickly review dragons here, again, mentioning things that that I'm not maybe interested day one, probably the Redworm Hatchling and the Redworm Dragon. Everything else here, I'm very much thinking I'm going to want to have as a priority. So yeah, we'll call the stream here again because I've got some other things I need to get done today. But I think this is a good introduction. I'll probably do some more streams here between now and Tuesday here on Twitch, going through the rest of the elements. If it's of interest, if you think this is something that's interesting for you. Again, I need to spend more time looking at Rebellion and getting prepared, as well as I'm sure a lot of other of the Splinterlands fam out there. So hopefully this has been useful. We'll sign off here. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us today on Twitch, and we'll see you on the next stream. Until next time, keep stacking those stats, everyone.